move on further towards the concept of inverse. Like we did for the identity, we have discussed the two kind of identity. The same way we will discuss the two kind of inverse. First of all, we'll talk about the first kind of an inverse, which is called as the additive inverse, and the second kind of inverse, which is nothing but called as the multiplicative inverse. So let's just discuss about the additive inverse first. What is the meaning of an additive inverse? Let us suppose I'll take any particular number A. Let us suppose I'm talking about any particular number A, and I will ask you a question that what will you add in this particular number A so that you can get the answer as 0. What you will add in this particular number A so that the answer is nothing but 0. So what is the answer? The answer is nothing but negative of that number. The answer is nothing but negative of that number. So this minus of A is called as the additive inverse. So this minus of A is called the additive inverse. The additive inverse. We can also call it as negative of a number. So at the end, what is the conclusion? The conclusion is that the additive inverse is a number which is a negative of another number, which when get added with the number A, the answer is nothing but 0. So let us suppose I'm taking any particular example. Let us suppose I'll talk about the number 3. So when we will add the number 3 with minus 3, the answer is nothing but 0. So the negative of this number when get added with the number 3, the answer is 0. So minus 3 is called as the additive inverse, or we can say that negative of a number. So we can call it as a negative of a number, or we can also call it as the additive inverse. So let's just move on further towards the multiplicative inverse. What is the meaning of multiplicative inverse? So we can say, let us suppose I'll ask you a question again, that what will you multiply with A so that the answer is nothing but 1? What is the number? What is that particular number which when get multiplied with the number A, the answer is nothing but 1? So the answer is very easy. The answer is the reciprocal of this particular number. When a number get multiplied with the reciprocal of itself, then the answer is nothing but 1. So 1 by A over here is called as the multiplicative inverse, and it is also called as the reciprocal of a number. So over here, 1 by A is called as the multiplicative inverse. It is called as the multiplicative inverse, or we can also call it as reciprocal of a number. So let us suppose I'll take an example of it again. If I'm talking about a number 4. So what we will multiply with a number 4 so that the answer is nothing but 1. Obviously the reciprocal of it, which is nothing but 1 by 4. So 1 by 4 is called as the reciprocal of 4, or we can also call it as the multiplicative inverse. So I hope the concept of multiplicative inverse and the additive inverse is all clear to you, that the additive inverse is all about the negative of a number, and the multiplicative inverse means the reciprocal of a particular number. So at the end, we have two conclusions from these two concepts. The conclusion number 1 is 0 is the additive inverse of itself. When 0 get added with 0 means itself, then the answer is nothing but 0. Obviously, when 0 get adds up with 0 means with itself, then the answer is 0. So 0 is called as the additive inverse of itself. The point number 2 which is important over here is 0 has no reciprocal. Obviously, when you will multiply 0 with any number, you won't get the answer as 1. Whenever you multiply the number 0 with any particular number, you won't get the answer as 1. It means that the multiplicative inverse for the 0 won't exist. The multiplicative inverse for the number 0 won't exist. It means that 0 has no reciprocal. So these two notes are really very important for the examination point of view, that 0 is the additive inverse of itself and 0 has no reciprocal. So this is all about the concept of inverse in which we have discussed the additive inverse, the multiplicative inverse. The additive inverse means the negative of a number and the multiplicative inverse means the reciprocal of the number, in which we have discussed the two important notes, that 0 is the additive inverse of itself and 0 has no reciprocal. I hope the concept of inverse is all clear to you.